Hey, a great idea just hit us. How about an all-cartoon network?
Turner Entertainment Networks proudly present the world's first 24-hour cartoon network.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the world's first and only cartoon network.
Let me take you back to a time before the Cartoon Network existed. Back when it was nothing but a pipe dream Ted Turner thought up after inhaling the lead paint fumes from his Captain Planet body paint cosplay. There was an idea for a 24-hour cartoon channel, but it needed investors to financially support it. A fun idea, but risky. Getting the license to a bunch of cartoons costs money, and making new cartoons even more so. Animation is far more expensive and takes longer to create than a live-action sitcom or a game show with questionable safety standards. How could a channel keep up with 24 hours of cartoons without repeating the same episodes? Well, Turner Broadcast already purchased and/or had access to several studios, including Hanna-Barbera, MGM, WB, Ruby Spears, and more.
The HB deal gives us more cartoons than anybody. Enough tunes to run for years and years. It brings our cartoon collection up to over 3,000 half hours of toon tonnage.
What more could a guy ask for?
This is own programming, not leased, so we never have to worry about scrounging for shows or bidding against the competition.
That archive was a major factor that helped give us Cartoon Network. Its premiere schedule in 1992 was nothing but retro stuff with maybe 1 or 2 new shows. Those old cartoons were always intended to be a jumping off point, as the plan was to slowly create new ones. As the network grew, so too did the original programming, along with imports from other countries, while Adult Swim ate up more of that schedule. Unless you were Scooby-Doo, the Looney Tunes, or Tom and Jerry, retro cartoons were rarely seen on the channel by the 2000s. Even then, they'd usually air late into the morning for kids pretending to be sick while having a mental breakdown after the teacher made their lives seem worthless for not understanding some math equation no one outside the class is ever going to use. Retro cartoons had nowhere to go and deserved better, but there was this programming block that was always there since the network's first year. Boomerang.
Boomerang brings back your toon favorites from the 60s and 70s. Huckhound and the Killer Gorilla, just as you remember them.
A commercial-free block that focused on baby boomer nostalgia. In the year 2000, that block was expanded into its very own channel.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hoppin' horn toad.
Boomerang.
Boomerang. It was all coming back to you.
I'm Canadian. What the fuck is this shit?
24 hours of classics, just like how Cartoon Network started. Best of all, no commercials. Instead, they'd play snippets of other cartoons, original shorts, or animated music videos they commissioned. Like, remember that Jabberjaw song by the band Pain? I could listen to that all day.
So what? Who cares? We're doing it how we like. I'm singing into my mic. A special underwater mic. Who's gonna save the world? Who's gonna save the days? Me and my friends get no respect.
Oh hey, they're playing that music video again. I love that style of music. If I could, I'd have a skateboarding video game featuring my characters and put that in the soundtrack.
Me and my friends get no respect.
Yep, there's that music video. Well, I'm sure they're gonna make more eventually and give that one a rest.
Me and my friends get no respect.
8:55, right on time.
Me and my friends get no respect.
Still that same damn song and still those same bumpers. This whole goddamn channel is on a loop. It was insufferable to be a consistent viewer of the channel. I got Boomerang 6 years into its run in 2006. By then there was already a lack of care. There'd be bumpers informing the viewer they're watching the Super Friends, only to cut to Teen Titans or the Justice League. Every single time. New bumpers were never made. The channel was on autopilot with the same TV shows they already own the rights to. Do you see why a channel for old content doesn't work long term? The obvious solution would have been paying the rights for other old cartoons, but what? They can't get classic Disney shorts, can't get Nickelodeon, MTV, or Comedy Central cartoons. That's under Viacom. They had stuff like Superman and Batman the Animated Series until they lost the rights to Toon Disney. Even if those cartoons were available, Boomerang was commercial free and had no reason to spend more money. All they could do for new content was let history repeat. Old stuff lost their time slot in favor of Cartoon Network shows.
Stay on your best behavior, and whatever you do, don't push any buttons. Welcome to Dexter's Laboratory on Boomerang.
It was understandable when canceled 90s cartoons came in, but eventually shows that were still producing new episodes were airing on both Cartoon Network and Boomerang. Gumball and Teen Titans Go don't belong here. Boomerang slowly turned into Cartoon Network 2, or a dumping ground for licensed shows no longer wanted on the main channel. Stuff like Be Cool Scooby-Doo or My Night and Me. This just wasn't Boomerang anymore, and by 2015 it got a whole new look to reflect that. We now had new bumpers, actual commercials, and original programming. People were mad about the change, but Boomerang was long dead before that. Plus, that means I don't have to hear
Me and my friend.
again. Good song, but it needed a break. Things can't be nostalgic if you play them endlessly. So anyway, back to complaining about Boomerang not airing old stuff endlessly. Their schedule as of now is some old and some new, but unless you're as big as the Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry, most of these lesser known classics are nowhere to be seen, at least for the American channel. I asked my fans what Boomerang is like in their territory. Some still play old stuff, while other countries focus on newer cartoons and preschool shows. I remember channel surfing in Mexico only to find they just air live-action teen dramas. Like, what are they watching? Rebelde?
Atrévete a ser tú mismo. Atrévete a ser rebelde. De lunes a viernes a las 21 en Boomerang.
Get that out of here, boy. So, what went wrong? What do you think? It was the same shows on repeat for over a decade. Ted Turner and other higher-ups were aware of this, but didn't want these classics to disappear. There needed to be a place to keep that legacy accessible despite it not making a profit. What was cool is with no commercials, Boomerang didn't need to please advertisers with a certain view count. They could air whatever obscure and unmarketable cartoon for a new generation. This introduced me to cool stuff before my time, like SWAT Cats, Top Cat, and Thundar the Barbarian, which also had a sort of cat-like Wookiee creature. I remind you, passing down these shows was a major factor that got Cartoon Network off the ground.
Imagine what it would be like to have all our cartoon friends and families in one place. We have the opportunity to bring those characters we love to generations of kids all across America. The Cartoon Network. Timeless tunes, Turner know-how, 24 hours a day, anytime your subs want it.
Colossal, gigantic.
Yeah, the repeated bumpers and shows were annoying, but that's because practically no money was spent or gained from it. They could only afford to show what they already had the license to. In a way, Boomerang was sort of a passion project similar to the modern incarnation of Toonami. Employees maintain Toonami on top of their normal Adult Swim work, yet aren't paid extra. While it's typical to say these corporations don't care about their past, sometimes there's fanboys working in high places. Boomerang lost that once they tried to commercialize it. Gotta add newer shows to appease advertisers. Old shows just aren't gonna cut it. Especially today. You wanna watch your favorite episode of Ed, Edd and Eddy? I'm sure everyone's favorite is different, but we all know it's Dawn of the Eds. Are you gonna wait for that to air on TV? No. We got DVDs, iTunes, and maybe it's streaming somewhere, or you could pirate it. With the internet now, Boomerang is not as important, but I feel we're in a better place for classic cartoons today. If Boomerang's goal was to keep that legacy alive, we all kind of do the same. How many of you discovered an old cartoon thanks to someone making fan art, memes, or a video on it? Just a few years back, everyone on Twitter and Tumblr was laughing their ass off at this old Dover Boys cartoon from 1942.
A runabout. I'll steal it! No one will ever know!
There's more ways now to discover forgotten media, but how you watch it is a better question. The channel may be dead, but there is another that we'll discuss after these messages.
You're watching Boomerang on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Boomerang the channel is dead, but in general, TV is too, as streaming becomes higher priority. Cartoon Network now releases episodes on their app first, and maybe on TV like a month later, if at all. The same applies to Boomerang, but maybe there's hope.
On Boomerang, you can stream over 2,500 episodes of the best cartoons ever. Only your favorites, only here.
In 2017, Boomerang introduced its first streaming app focusing mostly on WB and Hanna-Barbera at the price of $4.99 a month. Is it worth it? Well, that's pretty cheap, so yeah, I usually watch things once and never again, so any streaming service is a good value for me. It won't have the same content as bigger services like Disney Plus or Oaxis, but if you want these specific shows, get it. Now, let me just say, I was not paid by Boomerang to make this video, but I wish I was. Though at Comic-Con, I did receive this official Boomerang fidget spinner. I like this, but the app needs some work. The presentation looks clean at first, yet it's organized in such an odd way. Here are the shows listed. Well, they list shows and characters. When you click on Foghorn Leghorn, you get Looney Tunes shorts that feature him. When you click on Bugs Bunny, you get 3 different Looney Tunes series to choose from. From there, click on the original Looney Tunes and you get shorts that star Bugs Bunny. Why not show me all the Looney Tunes shorts you have? Why don't you have them all? Why not have separate categories for all TV shows and another for individual characters? It kind of makes it seem like you have less content than you actually do. Why hide the fact that you have Duck Dodgers, the best Looney Tunes spin-off that gave us Martian Queen, who we never saw again? As for Cartoon Network programming, you have Courage, but no Dexter, Powerpuff Johnny, or any of the other heavy hitters. There's Camp Lazlo, Gym Partner, and look, Juniper Lee. That's an obscure pick I can appreciate. And hey, why not upload all those old bumpers and music videos on here, or at least an official YouTube channel in high quality? I love to see that Josie and the Pussycats music video restored.
Long tails and ears for hats, guitars and sharps and flats. Sweet Boomer song, your body come along. Hurry.
The movie selection features a lot of direct-to-video movies, old and new. No Zombie Island, as of now, but there's Witch's Ghost, Ghoul School, Alien Invaders, and more to come with each month. Though I don't think any of them so far have been theatrical, so the James Gunn Scooby-Doo is not here. Overall, it's a pretty good selection of Hanna-Barbera and WB history, but yeah, give us all the Looney Tunes, damn it. Give me them good old racist episodes, come on. Now, while you're searching through TV episodes, seasons are referred to as volumes, although when you click on Tom and Jerry, you have all these different spin-offs listed, along with 4 individual volumes of the original shorts. But when you click on Volume 1, there's another drop-down menu for more volumes. So you can go to Volume 3 of Volume 1, but it's not the same volume from the other Volume 3. What are these volumes of, and why are they separated? I don't know. Are volumes just pages? I don't get it. Now, what's kind of sad is when you visit the Boomerang website, they don't even mention there's a TV channel, implying that this is their future. Boomerang as a streaming app is a great idea, but I feel they need to organize it better and crank out more of their library. The marketing seems to focus on parents who want a safe streaming service while also introducing their kids to old animation. I think it works well with that, and also Duck Dodgers. The Boomerang we grew up with is dead, but it's getting better. I'm optimistic for its future.
This streaming service does not work outside of America.
Damn it!
Who's gonna save the world? Who's gonna save the days? From Mayhap Crackers, steal any